In this session, I'll be talking about glycogen metabolism, synthesis, and degradation. I have set the objectives for this session. The first one is general aspects. Second one is about glycogen synthesis. Let me first describe about the general aspects that we have studied in basics of carbohydrate chemistry. Glycogen, we know about glycogen. It is a polysaccharide. It is a storage form. It is known as animal starch. Is readily available. It is readily available, water soluble. Okay, unlike triglycerides, and it is a polymer of glucose. These are the various features about glycogen we already know. And when you talk about the glycogen, it is storage of glycogen. It is mainly in liver and also in muscles. It is main storage site, liver and muscles, and other tissues. Other tissues also it is stored, the glycogen. Okay, so when you talk about this glycogen, liver, it is, as I say, liver and muscles, main storage sites. And in the liver, we take by weight, 10% by weight, so which comprises of glycogen, very high amount. Whereas muscles, it is 2% by weight. But actually, when you see how much of glycogen is present in liver, it is 75 to 100 grams. Comparison to in muscles, which is very low. In muscles, it is 250 to 400 grams. So because it is high muscle mass, okay, that is the reason muscular tissue contains high amount of glycogen. Suppose we are talking about these various organs, tissues, but in the cell where it is stored in cytosol. In what form? It is stored in granular. It is stored in granular form. Okay, in the cell, in the cytosol, it is stored in granular form. We said glycogen is a polymer of glucose. That means how many glucose residues are present in glycogen? It is not consistent. Approximately, it is around 55,000 on average it is present. How one glucose unit is connected with the another glucose unit? It is glycosidic bond alpha 14 or alpha 16, so glycosidic linkage. So this 16, it is a branching area. So branching aspect. So that means glycogen consists of various branches. So branches are present at every 12 residues. At every 12 residues, so branching point is present. Branching point is present. Then when you talk about the glycogen, let us discuss glycogen metabolism. The glycogen metabolism we can discuss in 2 points. Okay, into two aspects. What are these? One is glycogen synthesis. It is anabolic aspect. Glycogen synthesis, it is anabolic aspect. It is also known as glycogenesis. Glycogenesis, so that is an anabolic aspect. Then, so degradation, glycogen degradation, that we can say it is glycogenolysis. Lysis, so that is degradation. It is a catabolic aspect. Degradation is anabolic aspect, and degradation is catabolic aspect, and synthesis is an anabolic aspect. Okay, then I'll study glycogen metabolism in a simple way in 4 steps. The first one is activation of glucose. Activation of glucose into UDP glucose. That is the first step. The second step is synthesis of glycogen primer. Synthesis of glycogen primer. That is the second step. Okay. So then third step which I discuss is actual glycogen synthesis. The proper glycogen synthesis involving enzymes like glycogen synthase. Okay, that is the third step. The last step is the creation of branching, creation of branches using various enzymes. Okay, how the branches are created. So let me discuss about the first step. The first step starts with the glucose. This is the glucose molecule, hexose sugar having various carbons. Okay, so I'm interested in the sixth carbon where CH2OH is present. In the first reaction of activation of, so glucose is ATP is used converted to ADP by the action of hexokinase, glucokinase enzyme that we have studied in glycolysis leads to formation of this glucose 6-phosphate, leads to formation of glucose 6-phosphate. This is the sixth position, this is the one position. This is glucose and this we can say glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, in the next reaction, this glucose 6-phosphate by the action of phosphoglucomutase, it is called phosphoglucomutase. The phosphoglucomutase is converting one type of glucose, one isomer of glucose to the other isomer. Here glucose 6-phosphate is present and it is converted to glucose 1-phosphate. We can say this is glucose 1-phosphate. The glucose 1-phosphate in the next reaction. So UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase. What is UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase? So that means UDP means uridine diphosphate glucose. Okay, phosphorylase. Okay, so here what happens? Here UTP is supplied, a pyrophosphate is released. So leads to formation of there is UDP glucose, formation of UDP glucose. This is called UDP glucose. Okay, with this we have studied the activation of glucose to the glucose 6-phosphate into glucose 1-phosphate and then UDP glucose. In the next reaction, what we have here, the second series of reactions. So there is a requirement of glycogen primer. So what is this glycogen primer? What does it mean? So the primer is a small fragment of what? When you study the glycogen glycogen breakdown or degradation, what happens? Complete glycogen is not degraded. At the end, a glycogen with branches cut, trimmed will be available. So that is we call it limit dextrin. That sort of one can act as a glycogen primer. It acts as a primer, trimmed glycogen, removing many glucose residues, can act as a glycogen primer. If in conditions the glycogen primer is not there, if primer is not available, then what will happen? Primer is not available. Then what? How the glycogen synthesis is taking place? So in this condition, there is, we say, a special protein. The special protein, we call it glycogenin. This is the protein, we call it glycogenin. The glycogenin contains a tyrosyl amino acid. The tyrosyl amino acid is containing OH group. So what happens here? To this one, so there is UDP glucose. UDP glucose is involved leading to UDP. So what is that enzyme? Glycogen initiator synthase. Okay, this enzyme will help this out. So in this reaction, so leads to formation of a addition of glucose is taking place, because from the UDP glucose here the glucose is released and UDP is released attached to the this glycogen in a protein. So this one is the non-reducing end. Here it is non-reducing end. This is the reducing end. Reducing end. Okay. This is the one and this is fourth carbon. Okay. This is the how the glycogen in the glucose attachment takes place. Let us see in the next reaction what happens. In the next reaction we say autoglucosylation without any enzyme, autoglucosylation. Okay, so this process is taking place, and in this, so addition of other units of glucose is taking place. Addition of other units of glucose are taking place. Here we can say this is, we can repeat it, and then again it is here. Then addition of other units is taking place. There are many glucose units which are added. Many glucose units are added. So with this, we got the glycogen primer. This is the glycogen primer is synthesized. With this, we have completed the second step. Now, let us talk about the third step. So, glycogen synthesis. Glycogen primer is synthesized. So, glycogen synthesis. What is the main enzyme of glycogen synthesis? Glycogen synthase enzyme. So, from top, we get it. So, here, so there is an enzyme called glycogen synthase. Glycogen synthase enzyme. This glycogen synthase enzyme, so there are many UDP glucose, number of UDP glucose, they are used. So they are converted to UDP, transferring the glucose. There may be 10, there may be 11, so there may be 12. So how this one looks like? Let me write here again the glycogen, with the glycogen in, then we have this unit. Okay, so here I am writing quickly, and here, so various glucose units which are added. The glucose units are added. See, number of glucose units are added. There may be many number of glucose units which are added. So, like this, what happens here? So, there are many number of glucose units are added by using the UDP glucose, n number of UDP glucose in the presence of glycogen synthase, creating number of 1,4 linkages. These are all 1,4 linkages. There is no 1,6 linkage because there is no branch point till now. There is no branch point till now. Okay. Next, the time for the branch point. So, then we can say formation of the branches, the last step in the glycogen synthesis, formation of branches. How the branches formation takes place. In the branches formation, what we can say? Let me again write the structure of this quickly, the glycogen synthesis here. Okay, then here it is. So many glucose units, we can add it. Okay, then there are number of glucose units are added here. Okay, these are the number of glucose units are added. This number of glucose units, we say this is the seventh one. Number of glucose units are added. Here the branching is created here. How can I say the branches is created at this point, or we can say nearby this point? What happens here? Around 5 to 8. So glucose residues are transferred from this branch. So around 5 to 8 glucose residues are transferred from this one. The 5 to 8 glucose residues are transferred to one of the glucose residue in the main chain. Okay, from the straight chain. By the presence of what? By the help of the what? So branching enzyme. A enzyme, we call it branching enzyme. Enzyme which creates the branches. It is called amylo 1,4 and 1,6 transglucosidase. It is called transglucosidase. Okay, transglucosidase. So what happens? Here around some of the enzymes, some of the glucose residues, which are transferred to at this place, creating a branch point. So let me write this one in a different color. Here I give the different color so that it is clearly visible. Okay. Then the branching is created here. Here the branching is created here. Okay. So here the branching is created here. The branching is created here. So let me say this is the one which is involved in the branch. This is the one which is involved in the branch. Okay. Then what happens once it is involved in the branch? Then let us see this one. Okay. So branch. So generally what happens, as many glucose residues are present, there are many glucose residues are present. Here we can say here we can say there are many other residues are present. So okay. So this is the how the branching is taking place. The branching is taking place. So what is the meaning of this enzyme? The enzyme, it is 1,4 linkase is breaking the 1,4 linkase. This enzyme is breaking the 1,4 linkase. Here the enzyme has broken the 1,4 linkase, alpha 1,4 linkase. And what happened? It has created alpha 1,6 linkase. So what happens? It is establishing the alpha 1,6 linkase. So branching is created. So by breaking 1,4 linkase, establishing the 1,6 linkase. After that, what happens? By the action of glycogen synthase, again the chains are extended. Again the chain is extended. So many glucose residues are added. So here I have shown only one branch, but glycogen is not like that. Many branches are there. Every 12 residues, the branch point is created. So again, the branches also will have the sub-branches. Main straight chain also will have the branches. So finally, it looks like a tree with many branches. Okay. Next. So next, when you talk about this one, so as I said, 5 to 8 glucose residues are transferred, and after the transfer, the branching is created. The more the branches, the more non-reducing ends. Why I am giving the many, so a lot of importance to the non-reducing ends. What happens when glycogen breakdown is taking place? Glucose is released from the non-reducing end. So that means if more branches are there, more non-reducing ends will be there, more glucose residues will be released in the form of glucose 1-phosphate. So that will be useful for supply of the energy. Okay, that is the purpose of glycogen having many branches. What is the cost of addition of one glucose residue to the glycogen? It is 2 ATP. How it can be explained? The first one is when glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Here. So ATP is converted to ADP. Then second one is, that in the second one, so UDP, glucose is converted to UDP and glucose is supplied. Then the UDP, again to participate in reaction, it has to be converted to UTP. Here again, ATP is converted to ADP. So this is the way the glycogen metabolism, glycogen synthesis is taking place. Let me now summarize what we have studied so far in the today's session. We have taken up glycogen metabolism, synthesis and degradation. Synthesis we have discussed. Degradation we will discuss in the coming session. And what are the objectives we have set? At the end of the session, learner shall be able to know about the general aspect, just recall, and glycogen synthesis. So in the general aspects, we said glycogen, water-soluble storage form, readily available. It is a polymer of the glucose. Storage, it takes place mainly in the liver and muscles and also some other tissues. And liver 10% by weight and muscles 2% by weight, but total amount in liver is 75 to 100 grams. In the muscles only 252. In muscles much more than that one, 250 to 400 grams because of the high muscle mass. So in the cell, it is present in the cytosol in the granular form. So each glycogen will have approximately 55,000 glucose residues linked by 1,4 and 1,6 linkase, branches at every 12 residues. Glycogen metabolism can be divided into anabolic, catabolic. Anabolic glycogen synthesis, it is also known as glycogenesis. Degradation, it is catabolic glycogenolysis. So we have studied into 4 steps: activation of glucose into UDP glucose, synthesis of glycogen primer, and actual glycogen synthesis, and creation of branches. Okay, the first one is the activation of glucose, the first reaction here. So glucose to glucose 6-phosphate using ATP, ADP, converting ADP, glucose ATP to ADP, exose or glucokinase. By the action of phosphoglucometase, glucose 6-phosphate is converted to glucose 1-phosphate. Okay, glucose 1-phosphate. By the action of UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase, UTP is used, UDP glucose formation takes place. That is the activation. The second one is requirement of glycogen primer. Without glycogen primer, glycogen cannot be synthesized. Primer can be obtained by 2 ways. What is the remaining part of the glycogen after glycogenolysis, or creating a new glycogen primer. Okay, then primer is not, if the primer is not available, there is a glycogenin, it is a protein. The protein contains tyrosine, where UDP glucose transfers glucose. So attached glucose is attached. Okay, then autoglucosylation takes place. More glucose units are added, 1,4 linkase, various 1,4 linkase, then leads to formation of glycogen primer. The glycogen primer, so this is the second step of this pathway. Then next one is glycogen synthesis, where by the action of glycogen synthase, UDP glucose may be 10, 11, 12, 13, releasing the UDP, and glucose units are added through 1,4 linkase. Till this time, there is no branch point. Okay, then what happens here? The formation of branches. So there is a 5 to 8 glucose residues are transferred from the main chain or branch and creating the new branch by the action of enzyme, branching enzyme. It is known as amylo 1,4,1,6 transglucosidase. It converts 1,4 linkase. It breaks 1,4 linkase and creating 1,4,1,6 linkase, establishing 1,6 linkase. Okay, then, so what happens here? Alpha 1,6 linkase is created. So creating a non-reducing end, here also non-reducing end. So then again glycogen synthase, add the more glucose units. More branches, more non-reducing ends, that will be advantage when glycogen breakdown is taking place. Okay, then what are the cost factors? 2 ATP are required, and first is glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, and ATP is converted to ADP, and then UDP is converted to UTP. ATP, in this also ATP has to be converted to ADP. This is the cost factor of adding of each glucose residue in the synthesis of glycogen. So this is about glycogen synthesis. In the next session, I'll be talking about glycogenolysis. Thank you.